sorry I didn't make this pre-scheduled live earlier in the week. It's been so nuts here. It's not even funny. Yeah. It's been crazy. In fact, when I scheduled it this morning, I wasn't even quite sure I was going to do it, but I was like, I have to make dinner, so I'm going to do a live. So tonight's live is creamy chicken tortilla soup. It's inside the cookbook on page 125. It's delicious. So what we're going to do is, Kathy wants to see my wood stove that I have in the house. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to start preheating this pan over here. I'm going to put a little bit of butter in there. And then we'll go over and take a peek at the wood stove while the sun is still up, because the wood stove is actually in the off-grid portion of our house. So we're going to go ahead and put this pot, this large stock pot, over medium heat. I'm going to finish peeling the plastic off of my butter here. I'm going to be putting, I'm going to give you guys the recipe that serves 6, but I'm going to be doubling the ingredients. So if I'm putting a lot more in there, that's why. The recipe calls for 4 tablespoons of butter, and we're just going to put it right into this pot here. And then we're going to go take a look at that wood stove while it's melting. All right. And it went. The pot's over medium heat. And we're going to start heading on over there. This is going to start melting. Should be a delicious, quick meal. All right, so I'm going to move you guys, and we're going to go take a look at the wood stove while the sun is still up. So, okay. So this, actually, I can probably just turn the camera around. Hang on one second. We'll turn the camera around. Whoa, not that far around. All right, so this is our wood stove. This is, oh, it got really, really super loose here. Hang on. This is a Quadra-Fire wood stove. It's brand new. Well, I mean, it was to us. It was brand new. You can find them used depending on where you live. But these are really, really great wood stoves. And the reason why is because they have tubes that run along the top. Let me see if I can show you guys. Hang on one second here. Take the phone off the stand. They have tubes that run across the top that double burn your smoke pretty much. And so it's really, really highly efficient. When I open this, I can actually still feel the heat. These are the ashes from last night. And I bet if I dig around in here, there'll still be hot ashes. Let's find out that you can actually start a fire with. It's a pretty efficient stove. Yeah, there's some serious heat still coming off of this. I don't know if you guys can see that. But it hasn't had wood since this morning. It's just a well insulated stove. And then like I said, with the double burn tubes, it just burns really, really efficiently. So even areas that don't have wood stoves, because of certain rules, you can get away with having a wood stove. It also has several different dampers, and this particular bottom one actually closes itself. There's like a beeswax mechanism in the side of this, and when it heats up to a certain point, it just starts shutting down the dampers for you, which is super cool. But this is a Quadra-Fire. And then we just have pots that are on the top to try and keep the air nice and humid, because obviously wood heat dries everything out. But that's the wood stove. This is the model for 3,100 square feet. They make smaller and bigger models. All right, let's head back to the kitchen. That little thing had to come in the front, just because you guys are just jumping on. That had to come in the front of the cooking class, because that section of the home is off grid, and I didn't want to you guys to not be able to see it, because it gets dark because there's no lights. So the sun is now setting outside. Let's get to going on dinner. This butter is melting. Angle the camera down. This is going to be a super fast meal. This is a great one to do once you're coming home from work. Behind you, I do have an Instant Pot with some beans that are cooking, so I'm going to go ahead and put a towel over the top of it, and I'm going to go ahead and vent that. Okay, so our butter is melting in our pot here. We're gonna go ahead and dice up an onion. I'm gonna use my fancy dancy chopper. I know a lot of you guys loved this last week. These are just so easy. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use this. It'll be nice and quick, and the onion will be nice and small, which is preferred by my husband. There should be a video coming out this week on making broth. I didn't get to that one this last week. Everything pretty much got crazy. I had some shipping problems with my online store that I had to fix, and we had our first cookbook go to the UK, and so that was an adventure too. And so it occupied a lot of my time. But I did get a couple extra videos out last week, I mean. So that was pretty good. All right, so once again, I'm just gonna chop the onion into sections. See if it'll take that. I bet you it will. There it goes. And depending on how you cut the onion, like if you want it to be into smaller, not so long pieces, you have to cut the section a little bit shorter. Whoops. And I'm going to save the onion peels and the garlic peels from tonight's meal to go into chicken broth. You can totally save, you know, the ends to your carrots as well, ends to celery, all sorts of stuff. And then just put it right into your broth when you go to make it. And I actually ran the numbers on the broth, and I'm actually surprised at how much money it saves you just to make your own broth. I thought, how could you get broth any cheaper than $1.50 something at Walmart? But you totally can. I'm gonna go wash my hands. I'll be right back. I'm hoping I'm not sideways again. If I am sideways again, if you're able to comment, can you let me know? Because it is telling me I need to rotate my device back. So let me know if this whole picture is sideways. If it's good, let me know. Give me a thumbs up or something. All right, so there is our diced onion. Ready to go right into the pot. And we're not going to wash this yet. We're going to go ahead and put our garlic in as well. Where'd the garlic go? There it is. There we go. A bunch of garlic. I'm going to try rotating this just in case it is me that's... I don't think so. I don't know. All right. Well, we're just going to keep pressing on. Unless somebody says something. I'm going to keep on pressing on. I was okay until I went to go show you guys the stove, and now it's acting like I need to rotate my device, but then everything is sideways, so we're just going to leave it. All right, garlic cloves, I'm just peeling them. We need, I'm looking at my recipe here, 3 garlic cloves, if you're going to make one recipe. I'm going to make more than that. I'm going to double this, so I'm going to have a little bit of additional chopping with my chopper here. I love it to use it with garlic because you can just peel your garlic and it just goes on in so fast. Okay. 3 more cloves into the pot we go. Whew, that onion was pungent. So that was a really big onion from Azure Standard. If you are not doubling this recipe, you just want like a medium to small size yellow onion. Okay, so I got garlic going. And when they sprout, like this one has, I just use it. Doesn't bother me. All right, into the pot it goes. There's one more thing that needs to get used with this dicer. All right, and that would be a jalapeno. So the recipe calls for 1 jalapeno. I have these other peppers. I think they're ancho. I'm not really sure. So I'm going to use that instead. They're less spicy. They kind of give it a different flavor. And it's what I have available in my kitchen right now. So we're going to put one of those in there. I'm kind of tempted to do two. Maybe I'll do two. I just don't want to make it too spicy for baby girl. And these are just tiny. It was kind of a garden fail, I think 2 years ago. It's been a while. Like I said, these are frozen, so the oils are not going to get on my hands. Even cuts frozen spicy peppers. Check that out. Struggled a little bit. Okay, so now we're just going to dump that on in. And again, this chopper is available on Amazon. I am not an affiliate. I was an affiliate for a while, but I didn't sell enough of their stuff, so now I just advertise for free. This is the name brand. I'm not sure if that's going to be backward or forward. I hope it's forward. Okay, for that chopper, that's done. And we're actually done chopping after that. That's it. So we're going to go ahead and cook what we've got going on there in our pot. All right. Just going to give it a good stir. It's just the onions, the garlic, and then those ancho peppers. You can use jalapenos if you want. Super easy. We're going to be adding some of the rest of the ingredients here in just a second. We got to let that onion cook because my husband does not like onions that are crunchy. So we're just going to keep on sauteing here. And I hope I'm going to pronounce your name right. Leela, if you're watching, your cookbook will go out Thursday. I plan to head to town on Thursday to get that going. The weather is gorgeous, although I will be honest, I didn't get outside at all today, unfortunately. It's just, I've been doing a lot of computer work. And it's beyond my control. I wish it was, but it's something that has to happen right now. So, I actually haven't been outside to enjoy it much, which is kind of sucky, but it'll be okay. Okay, so my recipe book has you adding the cheddar cheese and cream cheese at the end. But I'm going to show you guys something that I've been doing instead. I feel like it adds more creaminess to your soup. So I have a pot back here. I'm going to go ahead and go over medium heat. I'm going to add about 1 cup of milk. This is my home canned milk. It's goat milk. So it would be just like using regular milk from the store. And I'm just going to add 1 cup in there. And then I'm going to go ahead and add 8 ounces of cream cheese. Of course, if you're not doubling this, you're going to go 4 ounces and only half of a cup of milk. This is my homemade cream cheese I make with the goat milk. Okay. I'm currently digging for a whisk in the abyss of my kitchen drawer. Oh, there it is. This is the dishwasher, nice and clean. Alright, just going to give this a little bit of a whisk. And that cream cheese was at room temperature, which I'm guessing everyone's already guessed it on that one. We're going to be adding some taco seasoning to it. We need 1 teaspoon of taco seasoning. So once again, I am doubling this. This is a half a teaspoon. If you don't know how to make your own taco seasoning, I do have the recipe in my cookbook. And if you haven't bought my cookbook, the link is down below. Okay, that was taco seasoning. You can add a teaspoon of hot sauce, but I am not going to because I would really like for baby girl to be able to eat this tonight. All right. And then we're going to add 4 cups of cheese. This, you can use sharp cheddar cheese if you want. This is just regular cheddar cheese. It's my organic cheddar cheese from Azure Standard. And the goal is just to create a nice thick mixture here. This pot is over medium heat, so it's going to slowly melt. And we're just going to give it a stir to keep it from burning on the bottom. Come probably use a spatula here. Not bad at all. Here we go. Okay. Now back to the pot. All right. So we have onions that are almost translucent here. It's almost time to add our next ingredient, which is going to be beans that have already been cooked. This is a super, super fast meal. So I'm going to take out the Instant Pot chamber that's behind you. We've got beans here. So what we have, the recipe calls for 2 cups of pinto beans and 2 cups of black beans, but I didn't have enough black beans. So I went ahead and did pinto beans, kidney beans, and black beans. Okay. So anyway, this will still taste great. You could also opt out of all of those and just do white, like navy beans or something like that. Totally fine, whatever beans you want. And what I did was I soaked them, and these are actually fermented, but if you can just soak your beans overnight with a little apple cider vinegar, it really, really helps to unlock the nutrients for your family and fill your family up faster with the same amount of beans. So, these have already been cooked into the Instant Pot. They are ready to go right into the pot, this other pot over here. So let's get them on in. All right, if you guys have the ability to comment and tell me this is coming through clear, that would be awesome. This is already, like I said, already cooked beans. This is going to go super, super fast. And we've got our cheddar cheese sauce on the back burner here going. I'm going to scrape out these last few beans into the pot. I'm going to be using cooked chicken tonight, which is normal around here because I use my whole chickens to make broth. Because that saves a lot of money, actually. And so we're going to add cooked chicken to this in just a little bit. Let's see, where did my spoon go? I got rid of it. Got rid of it with the Instant Pot. You don't want to do that. All right, I'm just going to stir this. We're going to add some more things to this. We have 9 cups of chicken broth. I'm going to decrease that by 1 cup because this did have some other water in it from the Instant Pot. So I'm going to do 8 cups of chicken broth. I'm going to go ahead and find my handy dandy little can opener. We're going to add a full can of diced tomatoes. If you're only making this for 6 servings, you'd obviously only need half. Same thing with the broth. You'd only need about 4 cups. Okay. This is just regular diced tomatoes from Azure Standard. They have really good prices on their canned goods that they make, which is from Azure Market. It's going to go on in. Give it a good stir. All right, we're going to add some cumin. We need 1 teaspoon of cumin. In this case, since I'm doubling it, I'm going to double that amount as well. This is a half a teaspoon. Because the 1 teaspoon went off somewhere with something. I'm not sure what happened. Okay, and then the next thing that we're going to add is supposed to be 4 ounces of diced green chilies. But I actually don't have any inside my pantry, so I'm going to use what I have. I have some salsa verde that I canned on up, so I'm going to do a whole cup of salsa verde. If you are not doubling this, you do half a cup. Or 4 ounces of green chilies. My salsa verde recipe has green chilies in it, so it's actually super nice just to be able to swap it out when you're all out of commercial green chilies. Okay, and so then we're going to stir this on the back here. We need to, oh yeah, it's melting. That's great. And then we need to add a little bit of tomato paste to this front soup. I'm going to go ahead and turn the burner off on this cheese sauce because I don't want it to burn. I'll be right back with some tomato powder. Okay, so the recipe calls for let's see, 1 tablespoon of tomato paste. So I need 2 tablespoons because I'm doubling. So what I'm going to do is in my little jar here, I'm going to make a 50-50 mix of tomato powder and broth out of here. Just going to eyeball it. I'm going to do about, it's supposed to be 2 tablespoons. So I'm going to do, let's see, 2 tablespoons. So that would be 1 tablespoon of broth. And then 1 tablespoon of the tomato powder. And then all you do is just mix it. I love this tomato powder just in case you're new to it. It's amazing. Just going to eyeball this. Or make it a nice little paste. Just by adding water. Just like that. There's my tomato paste. I love this because I'm not going to have an open jar of tomato paste that has 6 more tablespoons in it waiting inside my refrigerator and then molding in the refrigerator. I know that happens for everybody because you never know how much you need to use, and this is just so fast to be able to just mix it up yourself and throw it right on into your pot. And then we're going to add our cheese sauce here. So I can get that paste out of there. There we go. All right, now give it a good stir. All right. So this is going to come up to a boil, although most everything's already cooked in here. And we're going to add this cheese sauce back here. I'm going to give it another stir. And then I got to get to dicing up the chicken. It's going to go on the inside. Let me grab that. Okay, so I have 1 big old lump sum of chicken here. As I stated before, and I'll go over it in the video for the broth, I end up cooking down whole chickens, and then I use the meat after I'm done making broth to freeze it into 1 pound, like little baggies, because most of your recipes call for 1 pound or 2 of chicken. So now it's already cooked. The good nice thing too is that they store flat into your freezer instead of taking up so much room like whole chickens do. And you get tons of broth, which is a big savings. So I'm just going to chop it on this plate here. And we're just going to add it on in. We're also going to salt this soup to taste. If I had to guess, since I'm doubling this recipe, I'm going to guess we're around 2 tablespoons of salt for the doubled version and 1 tablespoon of salt for the non-doubled version. And like I said in the beginning of this video, this entire recipe is in my cookbook on page 125. So I'm just going to dice up this chicken. Every now and then, yes, we'll hit a bone. But for the most part, it's actually pretty good. Depends on what kid helped me go through the meat. But for the most part, it ends up pretty darn clean and fast. What's also awesome is if you have, like, let's say tortillas or something around your house, if you already have cooked chicken, all you gotta do is mix it with, you know, salsa and cream cheese and some shredded cheese, and you could have quesadillas or tacos or all sorts of things with already cooked up meat. All right. It's also been my experience, because we ran out of chicken last year before we had our first chicken harvest date, that chicken, whole boneless, skinless chicken breasts are the same price as a whole chicken when you weigh out the meat that comes off of it per pound. But you get a ton of broth, which has some serious savings. Okay, so there it all is. It's all chopped up. We're putting it on in, and then we're going to add that cheese sauce. This is delicious with some tortilla chips. However, we're not going to be eating it with that tonight. But tortilla chips in this is just divine. We're going to go ahead and pour in the cheese sauce. So this is almost filling up, just for reference, the doubled version. This is almost filling up a 2.5 gallon pot. Makes a lot of soup. Okay, so let's go ahead and stir it up here. The reason why I like this version better, when you make the cheese sauce on the back, it incorporates a lot better. It's a lot less slimy. I figured, I don't know, it's kind of like snot when you do it the other way. And this is going to thicken the soup up nicely here. It's all warming on up. It's all nice and thick. We're just going to bring it to a simmer so that those diced tomatoes get cooked. And then this is ready to serve. It would be delicious with like some sour cream on top, or see, I gotta keep on stirring because some of the cheese is still clinging, but that's chicken. Some of that's chicken. But anyway, you just keep on stirring until the stringiness of the cheese and the cream cheese goes away. This is all chicken now. And it's just nice and thick. You didn't have to use any thickeners. You didn't have to use, flour or anything like that. It's just nice and thick soup. A little bit of sour cream on top, maybe some avocados if that's your thing, and some chips, and this is amazing. It's a great fast meal. So now all I have to do is wait for it to come up to a simmer. I'm going to grab some salt real quick. We're going to salt it. I'm going to be using healthy salt like I do every night. So just in case you're new here, healthy salt is colored salt. So we're talking pink Himalayan salt with a color, or Celtic sea salt. That color is, they're minerals. And that helps your body to utilize the salt properly without having the bad effects like swelling and limbs and stuff like that from salt. The white table salt that they're all selling you is minus all of the beneficial things. So I'm just going to eyeball this. I think about 2 tablespoons would be okay. I'm going to do about 3 spoonfuls. And we will see how salty it is when we go to dish up, and I'll just put salt on the table. So this is going to come to a simmer until, and then that's going to cook up the diced tomatoes. And then once it hits the simmer, let it simmer for just a few minutes, and then we're going to shut it off, and it's totally done. That's how fast that meal came together. If you wanted to thicken it up some more, you could totally add more of the Azure Standard tomato powder, which is what is in this bag. I always make sure that when I get my Azure Standard tomato powder, I separate it out, put it into Ziploc bags, and squish all of the air out and store it like that, because it doesn't get rock hard that way. If you vacuum seal the tomato powder, it will be rock hard. I do not recommend doing that. But if you just move it into bags that don't have holes, that are away from all of your humidity, it works really, really great. So that is that, you guys. I hope you guys had fun. Let's see, it's only been 27 minutes. That is a meal in like less than 20 minutes because we had the wood stove first. So, hey Rhonda, thank you for that. I'm so glad it came through. That 1 week that we had where my entire screen was sideways and I had no idea. Nobody was commenting, and so I had no idea until it was all done. And so when I go back and look at that video, I'm like, I went through the whole class and nobody warned me. So I'm glad this is coming through clearly. Let's see, what else do I have to say? Like I said before, in the other private post that was in our little, what's it called? Not private, what's it called? Community post. My cookbook is going overseas now. And if you want a custom shipping quote to your country, all you have to do is reach out to me. My email is down below. I'm willing to go through the customs thing just to get it overseas. I will warn you that even to Canada, international shipping has really, really gone through the roof. And so I'm not making anything on the shipping. I'm not marking it up at all. But the shipping, the cookbooks are $18.99, and the shipping is about double that. So just to prepare you, that's how much it is. There's nothing I can do to make it cheaper. I tried putting it in smaller packages. I tried putting cardboard on each side of the cookbook. That one's so beat up. I just can't force myself to switch. I just need to force myself. I tried putting cardboard on both sides of the cookbook so that it wouldn't be bendable, because they have a rate for things that aren't bendable, but they didn't give me that rate anyway. It was first class, but it costs like, I forget, $4 or $5 more. So anyway, I tried to get it overseas cheaper than what they were quoting, but it was still expensive. So I think for the UK, it was like $27.10. Anyway, so just keep that in mind, that it's going to be more than the cookbook to ship it overseas. It's just the way it is, and it's the same for Canada, unfortunately. So anyway, but if you have not bought the cookbook, the link is down below. Check it out. Get that going. I'm hoping, the weather is gorgeous here. I'm trying to not love it, okay? Because we're supposed to get some storms this next week. And if we get hit the way they say we're potentially going to get hit, I may not be able to go live. Depends on if we have electricity or not. But we're supposed to be getting snow back, which is great because right now there's no snow. But anyway, so while it's nice outside, I'm going to get outside and get those other videos done for you. I need to do, maybe I'll just do kind of like a farm tour because we've got the chicken coop. I've got to show you guys what I have planned for the demon moths to combat those when it comes to growing cabbage this year. And then I also have the seating table out into the greenhouse to show you all. And it's going to be like 50 degrees this week, which is, I don't even know where this is even coming. Actually, I do know, but this is very unseasonably warm. We should be getting the weather that people down south are getting with the snow and the frigid cold. And it's just not here. So anyway, it's supposed to return though next week. So I will get out and I will make some of those videos before it gets so cold that I don't want to get out. So keep your eyes out for that. And I also still have to make the remake on the broth video. So that'll be coming out as well because that was requested by a couple of different people actually. How do you make broth? And I have some really, really good numbers to share with you guys as far as money savings. So that'll be super, super fun. So that being said, this is simmering now. So I'm going to let it simmer for a couple more minutes and I'm just going to shut it off because it's done. Do not walk away from the soup because that cheese sauce will settle to the bottom along with all your chicken. And then it burns, which is not a good thing. So it's just going to simmer for a few more minutes and I'm just going to shut it off and it'll be ready to eat. That's all there is to it. Now, if you like things super, super spicy, you could have added the hot sauce. Go ahead. You could add salsa to this. That would be delicious. But like I said, I'm hoping that baby girl can eat this tonight because she's been really, really working off of having her own private meals and she just wants to eat what we're eating. And so we're going to see. We're going to see if she can eat this. I'm hoping so. So anyway, if you guys wouldn't mind, hit the thumbs up button before you guys head on out. Thanks for watching my videos. Thank you for supporting me so very much. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Hopefully we'll see you next week. We'll see how the storm shakes out. So keep your eyes open for another pre-scheduled event. All right, you guys have a great night. See you next time.